Hey everybody, it's Scott Colby with the AbsExpert.com, and I've got Jason Hunter, a registered dietitian and the author of the Carb Rotation Diet. Today, Jason, we're going to talk about pre- and post-workout nutrition. Get a lot of questions about that from my readers. So why don't you just go ahead and tell us what should we be eating and when before our workouts and after our workouts.
Okay. Well, for the general exerciser looking to lose fat, slim up, tone up, build some just lean muscle, the pre-workout nutrition, it's somewhat important, but it's not essential. If you're eating regularly, 3 hours every day, 2 to 3 hours, things like that, you should be within a window of your meals at some point, usually within an hour, 2 hours before that workout. And generally, you just want to make sure you get some lean protein in there for your amino acids, some moderate to slow digesting carbs, so carbohydrates that have fiber in them, so that you have some sustained energy during your workout, would be a pretty good pre-workout meal. But like I said, unless you're training for like a sport or looking to really bulk up or build a lot of lean body mass, it's not as important as your post-workout meal. If you're an athlete or someone trying to really bulk up or build a lot of lean muscle, I would probably then suggest some type of protein shake before your workout that contained a good amount of branched-chain amino acids, because the research is showing that that is definitely beneficial to put you into that anabolic muscle-building state. So with that being said about the pre-workout, there's two distinct differences there. There's the athletic hardcore side, and then there's the general exerciser looking for weight loss. And that one, you would just be mainly trying to eat a healthy meal that provides you enough energy before your workout. And you don't have to do anything special. It could just be one of your regular feeding opportunities that would consist of some lean protein and some whole grain type carbohydrates that contain fiber or fruits and vegetables with that. Your post-workout, though, is very important for all exercisers, whether it's weight loss, weight gain, muscle building, athletic, because no matter what you do, you have to recover before that next workout, regardless of if you're going out to play a game of basketball the next day or just getting back into the gym and doing some more strength training or cardio to help tone up. And so post-workout nutrition, there's plenty of research that shows there's definitely a window of opportunity, and that window of opportunity is usually within the first 60 minutes after completing your exercise. And ingesting a nice ratio of carbohydrates and protein, usually like a 2-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein in a liquid form within that first hour after exercise, is that ideal window of opportunity, because your body is literally craving carbohydrates and amino acids at that time. You definitely won't be storing anything as fat during that hour. It's going to ingest that and utilize every bit of it. And so you want that quickness. You don't want it to have to wait an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours to digest in your stomach. You want it to be able to be absorbed quickly right into the muscle. So post-workout nutrition, regardless of what your goals are, if you're exercising and you're strength training and you're doing cardio, you should be taking a post-workout shake after that workout.
Cool, and this is your time where it's okay to ingest some simple carbs, right? Simple sugars.
Most definitely, because it's the quickness of it. You want it to be able to absorb fast and digest quickly. So simple carbohydrates do that better than the whole grain, and that's why the suggestion is you take it in through a liquid format rather than go and eating a big slice of whole grain bread or something that's filled with a lot of fiber, because it's going to take too long to digest and absorb into your body. You want it into your bloodstream within that 60 minutes of completing your exercise. So simple carbohydrates in a liquid format, along with protein, whey protein, casein protein, a blend, and most post-workout shakes are going to provide that because of that window of opportunity.
Cool, and just for the listeners, I got great results when I was training real hard at the end of last year and doing an abs transformation using a recovery drink called Workout made by ProGrade, which Jason, you're the dietitian for. And I got the vanilla flavor, mixed it up with some organic, non-fat milk. Sometimes I put peanut butter in there or a banana just for some extra flavor, and it made it a great post-workout shake. So, Jason, real quickly, on the pre-workout, you mentioned slow digesting carbs and some protein possibly. Could you just give us a couple examples of what that would be as far as a good pre-workout meal?
As far as a meal or food, you could do lean chicken breasts for protein, a hard-boiled egg, cottage cheese would be a good choice. As far as some of your protein choices, yogurt would be a decent choice. And then as far as, your slower digesting carbohydrates, it would be your whole grain, fiber-rich foods, fruits and vegetables would be good sources. If they have the fruits, if they have skins on them, would be just a little better, just because it takes a little longer to digest that skin, which again gives you a little longer digesting or sustained energy with that. But it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. I mean, if you're eating properly in regards to trying to include some lean protein at each meal, a vegetable or a fruit, and then whole grain carbs like whole grain breads or whole wheat pastas, things like that, you're gonna satisfy those energy requirements for your workout.
Cool. And one last real quick question. What about because I know a lot of people who wake up early and then they exercise, first thing in the morning, like at 6 in the morning. Mm-hmm. For this person, do they need to actually eat before their workout, or is it more individual as far as how they're feeling? Some people don't really want to eat something right before their workout that early in the morning.
Yeah, it tends to be more of an individual need.
Okay.
I do sometimes usually suggest to people to at least, drink a glass of orange juice or something that's going to get some sugars into their body, because they did fast, from their previous meal, which maybe was 6 p.m. the night before, and maybe it's 6 a.m. now. So, maybe they didn't have anything for 12 hours. Their blood sugars are going to be a little low, and if you just kind of give it a little bump with some type of like a juice that's going to kind of give you that quick rush of blood sugars and energy, it'll just help get you farther into that workout, because some people tend to hit a wall a lot of times because of the low blood sugars before they even start their workouts. So just ingesting some type of juice to raise their blood sugars will prevent that, and they'll be able to get through that workout just fine.
Okay, awesome. Well, Jason, thank you so much for giving us these great tips for pre- and post-workout meals and when we should be eating these. That's been great advice. I know, especially like you said, that post-workout meal is maybe our most important meal of the day to get us really good results. So
yeah, definitely.
Appreciate you being here. And this has been Scott Colby with Jason Hunter, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody.